Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Me, Ryan118, and this is the video that really does spark the most discussion in the comment section, isn't it? I love doing these videos. I loved doing all 6 of them last year. We're on to the first one of the 2017-18 season. This Saturday, as we know, it is Rangers versus Celtic at Ibrox. Obviously from the point of a Celtic fan. If you've never been to the channel before, I support Celtic. I will be talking from the viewpoint of a Celtic fan, previewing the game, giving my predictions, and so on and so forth. You get the point. You know what this kind of video is about. If you're obviously a mainstay on the channel, you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. And one thing I want to quickly get out the way is, I will refer to the game as the Old Firm, and I will continue to refer to the game as the Old Firm. I choose to call it the Old Firm still. A lot of people do get angry at me in the comments for calling it the Old Firm. I still call it that. At the end of the day, when we beat Rangers 5 times last season, after every single one I celebrated like we beat Rangers, like we should celebrate. We don't say, if it's this whole new fucking Old Firm doesn't exist, why do we celebrate? That's just my point of view, and I respect your opinion. If you don't want to call it the Old Firm, fair enough, but my point of view is I call it the Old Firm, and I will remain to call it that. But anyway, Celtic Rangers, Ibrox this Saturday, first of the season. Pedro Caixinha obviously did not get off to the best of starts in these matchups. Last year we ended off the Old Firm games with 2 in a row. We beat them 2-0, we beat them 5-1 at Ibrox. Will we see the same at Ibrox this Saturday that we seen back then in April? April it was. What we saw in April. We went to Ibrox and we absolutely demolished them. They never had a look in. Granted, they got a goal when they were 4-0 down. They put a goal back, but at the end of the day, we never let Rangers into the game. We never let them get comfortable. Straight away, we got a penalty very early in the game, and it was ours. It was a game that we couldn't lose from going 1-0 down, and I feel like it's the same situation. If we take the lead at Ibrox this Saturday, I think the game is in our hands. I don't think Rangers are strong enough still, in my opinion, to fight us, to grabbing a win from going behind. I think it's important that we do take the lead, but even if we go down 1-0 to Rangers like we did back in December at Ibrox, there's not much to panic about. I think we're going to expect the typical kind of Rangers style that we got last year. What happened in the Old Firms and what I picked up on and what I essentially always thought was, Rangers come out straight from the gates and they try and do something, they try and go forward, they will get a couple of chances to try and make us nervy, but it didn't work. There was no nerves in the Celtic team last year. There was no nerves on our side. They went forward and they got their early chances last year. I remember Windass having an early chance in the 5-1 game. They always try and go forward and they always try and start the game as thunderous as possible, and I think it always backfires on them. It always backfires on them, and then we go and then we picked them apart game by game last year, apart from that one in March where they were the better team. And I've said they were the better team when Graham Murray was in charge, of all people. But honestly, this game this weekend, let's be honest, Celtic should be winning the game. Whether you're a Rangers fan, a Celtic fan, or a bloody Partick Thistle fan, the odds are on Celtic's side. We should be dispatching of Rangers in a manner this weekend that suggests the gulf is still there, because in my opinion, the gulf in class is still there. But I'm not saying we're going to go to Ibrox this weekend and absolutely destroy them. I think there is one part of me that thinks, I think we can go and do it, but at the same time, I'm being realistic. And I do think there has been some form of improvement in Rangers. In my opinion, Pedro Caixinha still isn't the man for the job, but after spending the money they did during the summer transfer window, there definitely has been an improvement in the Rangers squad that we faced this time last year and throughout the season last year. A vast improvement in the squad. And does that make things more difficult for us? Personally, I don't think so. I think, you know, we are playing against it's basically a brand new team. They've got some good players that they've brought in, Ryan Jack, Morelos, who have had an instant impact to the Rangers team. The other two players that come to mind straight away, those two specifically, have added a lot to Rangers. We are having to face kind of a whole new 11. There's a lot of new players on the park for them. So are we playing a different Rangers? Aye, but at the same time, I just don't feel like it's going to be that much for us. I don't think we're going to be too, you know, it's not going to be difficult to handle for us, I don't think. I think we'll be fine. I think we're going to have a game where we go out, we just play our normal football, we won't need to worry. At this point, Rangers still aren't the title competing side that Rangers should be. They're still not there. They're not up to, still in my eyes, I still think Aberdeen will be a better team than this season. I do think that. I think Aberdeen will still finish second this season. They've still got to figure stuff out. And I just feel like Celtic will be... It'll be easy for Celtic to get the win on Saturday. I'm not wanting to go out there and say it'll be easy to get the win and then they go and fucking beat us and then I'm left with egg in my face. But if you look at the odds, if you look at that, if you put the two sides together, we should be winning this weekend. If we don't, I'd be I'd be quite disappointed. It all comes down to the performance on the day in an Old Firm. That, for me, that's what happens. For me, you can always go in and say Celtic should be winning, but to me it always comes down to who's the most determined, who's the most motivated on the day. That's what it comes down to. And the proof of that was in March. After beating them 5-1, after beating them at Ibrox, we go into Celtic Park, where we should have been arguably destroying them again, considering it was at Celtic Park. And because we played with no desire on the day, they went and got a point from us. And they played better. Arguably should have beat us. So, it really, for me, does come down to who's the better team on the day. I do think we will be able to beat them on Saturday. I do think it's our game. I don't see Rangers getting a win. But, as I said, determination, maybe Pedro Caixinha will send them out more determined than what they were the last 2 times we played Pedro Caixinha's team. But a lot of things we've got to do is discuss, what kind of formation are we going to play here? What we're doing is Dembele and Griffiths going to start. Are we going to? I see a lot of talk on Twitter, a lot of people play a 3 at the back. For me, football should always be 4 at the back. That's just my view. And it's kind of like, when we get into this kind of modern, more kind of football now, 2017, a lot more teams are adopting this 5/3 at the back system, which Celtic have tested out this season. We've seen it being used. We've seen Lustig, Tierney and Simunovic play as 3 at the back, and then we've had wing backs and Miller and Ralston and such, and we've seen even Tierney playing in that wide role and bringing in another centre back. We have tested that, but is it worth it to risk playing against Rangers? In my opinion, Rangers still aren't great, and I don't feel like they'd be a team who would break that down easily and take advantage of it, being kind of a new tactic to Celtic. I still don't think they have got that quality in them, but for me, it's still got to be the 4 at the back. We've got to go with the trusted 4 at the back. I would just go for the normal. A lot of people saying play Dembele and Griffiths together. If it's me, I'm still starting Griffiths on Saturday. As much as I love Mr. Dembele, he's just back into the team while Griffiths has played this whole start to the season, basically. Missed a couple of games with injury. He's played this whole start to the season. I would say give Griffiths the nod. Bring Dembele on, definitely. Bring on fresh legs that can maybe, if we're struggling, if we're still drawing, maybe win the game for us. But Griffiths, for me, has to start. That brings me on to my starting 11. I've started doing this, haven't I? Starting predictions for the starting 11. For me, I've got to have Gordon in goals, as always. I mean, De Vries. And Gordon last weekend, proving again what I always say, one of the best shot stoppers I've seen. And he proved that again last weekend. I know he's never the ball at his feet, but honestly, it's all nonsense. I think a lot of people wanting Gordon out. Yes, he's aging. Maybe we should prepare for the future. But Gordon, for me, has to start on Saturday. At the back, Boyata, we've got the cup game tonight. Boyata is reportedly going to be fit to even play tonight. He will be back in the team, whether that's the bench or as a starting player. But for me, I don't think we should rush him into the team. I don't think we should rush Boyata in, just in case there's something that happens that makes us have to make an early substitution, which isn't really nice, or maybe somebody takes advantage of him in a sense where use pace to beat him if he's a bit slower because he's just recovering from an injury. So I'm starting Ralston on Saturday, honestly. I'm going to say start Ralston at right back and give the centre-back positions to Lustig and Simunovic. I think they should be the starting centre-halves. Left back, obviously, Kieran Tierney. In the middle, you've got to have Brown. You've got to have Brown in there. In Cham, I'll probably give the start, along with, I'm going to say McGregor. I want to see McGregor start. And I think he might start. I'm going to say McGregor. Since Armstrong started against PSG, I would like to see maybe McGregor taking the nod this weekend. Sinclair and Roberts as the wingers, and I will start Griffiths up front, as I've discussed previously. I would definitely have Griffiths starting up front. That's my predicted starting 11. One thing I also wanted to talk about is we need to win this game this weekend, as well as it's a nice thing to have a win in this, because we've got Anderlecht the following Wednesday night. You don't want to go into a Champions League game with low morale, low motivation, just coming off the back of a loss. That's always a bad thing in my eyes, and I always want to go into a Champions League game with a win. And I feel like if we get the win this weekend, winning a Rangers game, winning one of the Old Firm games is one of the highlights of the season, one of the best feelings of the season for not just the fans, but the team itself. So the buzz they can take off of that game moving forward hopefully can be used to go and get a decent result against Anderlecht. I mean, last year we beat them 5-1 and then proceeded to be pumped 7-0 at the Nou Camp. But there's quite a gulf between Barcelona and Anderlecht at the same time. So maybe this one would work a bit more. And has been used as motivation. But honestly, Celtic should be winning this weekend. I think we will win this weekend. How comfortably, I don't know. Obviously, we played at Ibrox twice last season. Once was far more comfortable than the other. A 2-1 win versus a 5-1 win. This weekend, I genuinely don't feel like we will destroy them. I mean, James Forrest, for example, has come out and said we're looking to do even better than the 5-1. In all honesty, I don't see us doing that. I really don't. If I was to put up my score prediction on, I'm putting on a 3-1. 3-1 Celtic. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where we'll take the lead, we'll go up 2-0, maybe even 3-0, and Rangers, there's always got to be a goal for Rangers, I feel, in an Old Firm. I feel like there's always got to be both teams scoring. I know obviously we kept 2 clean sheets against them in the Cup, but in the league we did not keep a clean sheet against Rangers last year. I feel like there will be a goal in there no matter how dominant Celtic are for Rangers. How they get it might be a bit questionable, but I feel like there will definitely be a goal in there for Rangers. But I do see us win the game. I'm not in doubt, so I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling optimistic, whatever you like. I don't feel like there's a need for optimism. We should be winning, and I'm very confident that we will. So I would say I'm not optimistic, I'm just very, very confident that we will get a win. But as I said, how comfortable the win is, I don't know. But I feel like we will come away with the victory. I would like us to come away for the victory. A lot of pressure on Pedro Caixinha to impress. So who knows, Rangers might play a lot better than we expect. Pedro Caixinha will be wanting to start the Old Firm matches this year with a far more convincing... the phone. Fuck me. Who's phoning it? 20 past 4. Pedro Caixinha will be wanting to be far more convincing, as I was saying, in his Old Firm performances after the last 2 went disastrous for him. So maybe this new Rangers team will take us by surprise, but I'm in high confidence that we will be able to handle it. We will be able to walk away with the win. Anyway, that has been my match prediction. Let me know what you think below. Feel free to leave me abuse, Rangers fans, as you usually do in these videos that they'll never hear on the channel but turn up for these. I try and be as non-biased as possible, so keep that in mind. I didn't speak too badly of you in this video, so think that before sending your abuse. Joking, I actually enjoy the abuse. I have a wee bit of banter back, you know. But make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and hopefully it all goes well on Saturday in the big game. So until next time, I'll see you all later.